Hello bookaholics, welcome back to my channel. This is Angela, your own bookaholic brown name. You can call me Angie. If this is your first time here, then let me tell you what we do here. We talk about books. We talk about books that I've read, books that I'm planning to read, books that I'm currently reading, all things related to books. So if you are a bookaholic like me, please do not hesitate from subscribing to my channel. Now, considering the topic of today's video, as you might have seen from the thumbnail, I'm expecting at least some of you are non-book readers who want to start reading. So whether you're from category 1 or category 2, please do freely subscribe, and also please like, share and comment because your opinions matter. In my last video, I shared my reading goal and reading journal for 2022 with you, and a lot of you reached out to me asking for tips to become readers or to start reading or to read more, basically. And for me, initially, these questions sounded very frivolous because for me, reading is the most natural thing to do. But then when I thought about it more, I realized that these could be real, genuine issues that people face. And if I can help in my own small way, I should. And here I am with a video with a few tips that might help you to start reading and become habitual readers. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1, the biggest complaint that people have raised when it comes to developing a consistent reading habit is that they get bored along the way. The best way to avoid that is to pick a genre that interests you. Maybe you picked up a book in the past which was recommended to you by somebody who loved that particular book, but maybe it was not your genre, it was not inside the realm of your interests, right? So you know what interests you, so make it up to you to decide what you want to read or what kind of book that you want to read. So if you love coding, then pick up books related to coding. If you love nature, then pick up books related to that. If you love science, then pick up popular science books. If you love fiction, then go for it. And within fiction itself, if you love mysteries, then pick up, like Agatha Christie or Sherlock Holmes or something like that, and stick to that genre. And make sure that you stick to the genre until it becomes a habit, until you overcome that barrier of boredom. Tip number 1 is pick your genre. Tip number 2, once you have picked your genre, go to any book recommendation app like Goodreads or generally Google and look for the most recommended books within the genre, the most popular within the genre. And also, it is better that while you're trying to zero in on which book to select, look for books which have less than 150 or 200 pages, because the more lengthy it is, the chances are more that you might get disinterested or bored because you're just starting off, right? So it's better you pick up the most popular book within the genre, which is not that lengthy, and that will definitely help you to keep the interest going and try to reduce the boredom. Tip number 3. Now, this is the most important part of this entire list of tips that I'm giving you. That is to fix a page per day goal for yourself. It could be any number. It could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 50, it could be 100. But the most important thing to keep in mind while setting this goal for yourself is that it should be achievable at any cost, come what may. You have to make sure that this target that you have set for yourself has to be met. So it is advisable, it is better that you set a goal which is not optimistically high, which is realistic, which might sound ridiculously low, but go for it. Fix a goal. It could be 5 pages per day or 10 pages per day. It doesn't matter, because remember, your goal is not to finish a book in the smallest amount of time or read maximum number of pages per day, but your goal is to develop the habit of reading. So focus, set your goal and stick to it, and make sure you do it every day. Tip number 4, Now, this is something that I am currently using to develop new habits in my life to achieve my goal for 2020. Not just reading goal, but other life goals as well, and also something that I've used in the past year. So I know for a fact that this works because it did work. And also, this is based on science, specifically behavioral science. Now, this is called habit stacking. Now, habit stacking is a process involving grouping together of small activities into a routine that is already a habit in your life. So, for example, if you have a habit of having morning coffee every day without fail, like 7 days a week, wherever in the world you are, you take that habit and then group the habit of reading along with having your morning coffee. So that means that every time you pick up your coffee, you remember that you have to read 10 pages or 5 pages or whatever your goal that you had set previously. Aristotle once said that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, it is not an act but a habit. Number five, this might be the most difficult thing for most of us, including me, to carry out, and that is to avoid distraction, especially internet, because we live in the digital world right now. We have so much of content, so much of distraction. Oh my god, it is so difficult to be attentive to anything at all. So attention span is, I think, the most expensive commodity out there right now. It is difficult to get people's attention. That's why, you get 10 views on a very informative, intelligent, amazing content on YouTube, and then you get millions of views for 10 seconds of buffoonery, right? On internet. So it is just mind blowing the amount of attention sometimes silly contents get, but it's okay. I digress. I think the most important investment that you need to bring to the table to develop a habit of reading is your attention. Your attention is needed, undistracted attention. Because the moment you're distracted, then you lose track of what you're reading, you lose track of the theme. If you're reading a story, you lose track of the plot, and then you have to restart, and then you will lose interest. So those 10 pages that you're reading, give it your full attention. You can check your Facebook, you can check your Instagram, you can check your WhatsApp later after your 10 pages. Make it a point to switch off your mobiles, or lock yourself inside your study room or your work area, or wherever you can find some solitude where your children or your wife or your husband or your other members of your family cannot distract you. And then sit there and finish your morning coffee or whatever your habit you have selected, and 10 pages. So, very important, avoid distraction. That is tip number 5. Tip number 6. This is something related to what I have already mentioned in tip number 2. That is basically to select shorter content for you to start off with. So, if you're a fiction reader, then go for short stories. Amazing, excellent short stories are available like online for free sometimes. So, go for those. And if you're a non-fiction reader, then go for essays instead of big, huge, chunky non-fiction books. Go for short essays, which is related to the topic that you are interested in. So, tip number 6, very easy, short stories or short essays. Tip number 7, audio books. Guys, I'm telling you, this will change your life if you haven't tried it already. Oh my god, 2021 was a year of discovery for me. I discovered audiobooks and I never have looked back. It is such an amazing experience. I started with Sadie, and yesterday I just finished Anxious People, and oh my god, every audiobook, luckily for me, which I have listened, were excellent, amazing. And there are so many audiobook providers out there. There's Audible, Storytel, Script. So try any of them, which is the best for you, most economical for you. Go for it and try it out. I know there is a debate among readers that, where people claim or historically argue that listening to audiobooks do not count as reading, but I think it does. I will definitely choose physical books over audiobooks any day, but if you are trying to get into the habit of reading, then this is a good way to start off, and then you can slowly, tip your toes into reading actual physical books. I'm telling you guys, the book that I recently finished listening to, which is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. Oh my God. I don't think I could have done justice to that book if I had read it by myself, because the narrator, she did such a fantastic job in playing the characters out. The I just can't explain it. It is one of the best audiobooks that I have listened so far. So, tip number 7, go for audiobooks. Tip number 8. A lot of people, even though they want to read books or they have read a couple of books, they hold back from reading because of the affordability factor. Not everybody can go out and buy all the books they want to read. My answer to that is libraries. Go and utilize the books that are available in your library. Now, if the library is too far, right now we are living in the digital world. Most libraries do have online options available in India, or at least in I know that in Bangalore the best option available is the online library of British Council. So do get a membership and then utilize their digital library. So for people who are holding back from reading more because of the affordability factor, then library is your answer. Tip number 9. Now, when I share my YouTube videos with my friends or friends or friends' families, or my friends share it with their, colleagues or acquaintances, the response mostly they get is that, hey, it is in English. It's kind of difficult for them to follow. And I thought that maybe this might be a factor that might be holding some people back from picking up books and reading, because especially in India, most of the books that are available to read are, in English. I mean, there are translations available, but yeah, not for all the books that you might want to read. But if you are a beginner and if you want to start reading, and you're intimidated by the language itself, then go for books available in your own language. Like, for if you are a Malayali, then pick up a Malayalam book. There are so many beautiful, amazing Malayalam books available, and read them and develop that habit. And once you have developed that habit, then you can slowly graduate into reading English books as well. The final tip number 10, is to be engaged with the book reading community. Now, we are all blessed to be living in this generation where we can be in touch with people with similar interest, no matter which part of the world they are from, because we have the access to the digital world. Now, make use of that facility. Take up your mobile, go to YouTube or Google or Reddit or Discord or Instagram and find your group of posse who are interested in the same kind of book as you do, and engage with them and talk to them about the books that you have read. My experience is that the book reading community online is such a friendly, amazing community. They are helpful, they are encouraging, and they are just lovely bunch of people. I think it's the best niche community out there in the internet world, the most friendly bunch of people. And being engaged with this community in the past year of 2021 has helped me to read a lot more than I usually do. I ended up discovering a lot of books that I otherwise wouldn't have even heard of. And I started reading those books, and I discovered new authors. I discovered new ways of consuming books, like, audiobooks and immersion reading and things like that. So when you have this community of people who are encouraging you to read, I'm telling you, you will definitely have no excuse to not read. So that was my final tip, to be engaged with the book reading community. Before I let you go, I would like to give you three recommendations myself. Book number one would be Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. This is a very easy, entertaining, fun read. You will not regret reading it. So go ahead and pick it up. Book number two is an audiobook which I recently finished reading, which is The Anxious People by Frederick Backman. I'm already smiling when I'm talking about it because I'm definitely going to listen to this book again. It is such a beautifully narrated book, very well written by Frederick Backman. So listen to that. That is Anxious People by Frederick Backman. And book number three, basically, if you're a lover of mystery, thrillers, etc., then go for some classic detective novels like something from Agatha Christie or Sherlock Holmes. That was today's video, guys. I hope you like it. I hope you find this video helpful. And if you did, please do hit the like button. Also, please share and comment. Also, please do subscribe. And until next time, this is Angie signing off. Bye bye.